William Shakespeare was born in Stratford-upon-Avon in 1564 by his father John Shakespeare and Mary Arden. People don't know his exact day of birth, but they often take the month of April 23rd to celebrate his birthday. When he was 2, his younger brother was born and Shakespeare's family was very well off. One day, when on the way home from a trip, father and son saw the theater troupe on the road. Shakespeare was very excited, so he begged his father to take him and his brother to see it. Led to the theater by his father, the young Shakespeare was hypnotized and watched patiently from beginning to end. Shakespeare was educated at King Edward VI Grammar School in Stratford. His education abruptly ended when he was 14 years old, as his father had financial difficulties. He found comfort and friendship with Anne Hathaway, the girl next door. They married when Shakespeare was 18 years old and Anne was 26 years old and 3 months pregnant. Despite being married and busy with 3 children, Shakespeare never forgot his desire to become an actor and even practiced writing a few plays. One day, a troupe stopped by Stratford. Shakespeare went there with a script in hand. The troupe enjoyed his works and recommended him to London. Shakespeare left Stratford-upon-Avon and went to the great theatres of London, where his first play, Henry VI, premiered in 1592. Shakespeare was also the managing partner in the Lord Chamberlain's Men, an acting company in London with which he was connected for most of his career. On the road to success, he wasn't immune to criticism, but was fully involved in the dramatic life of the city of London, where he wrote 2 plays a year and was London's most famous playwright. One of them is Romeo and Juliet, from 1592 to 1594, when the plague was rampant. There was a decrease in demand for plays, so Shakespeare turned to poetry.
In 1898, when Shakespeare became a major brand, his name was often accompanied by many sold-out plays. His nickname was the Bard, or more specifically, Bard of Avon. Because the word bard means poem, we're essentially calling Shakespeare the poet. His early works had mainly historical and comedic themes, but in 1596, the weather was extremely harsh and crops failed everywhere. In August 1596, his son Hamlet fell ill and died. When Shakespeare learned of Hamlet's death, he was devastated and buried his head in his work. However, his sorrows did not stop him from writing great plays. But even the comedies later began to reveal their dark sides. In 1601, the Earl of Essex hired Shakespeare's play, Richard III, to be performed in London. However, some of the scenes in the play were cut, and Essex was planning to overthrow Queen Elizabeth I. As a result, Essex was executed and the troupe was summoned to the palace and was seriously revoked. Shakespeare had to go into hiding. He then reappeared after Queen Elizabeth I died in 1603 with his troupe and was well received by the court. He then moved to the upper area of Silver Street, near present-day Barbican. This is where he wrote such famous tragedies as Othello, Hamlet, King Lear, and Macbeth. In 1609, the plague broke out again, causing many theaters to close and severely affecting the playwrights. From 1610 onward, Shakespeare wrote fewer plays, and after 1613, he did not produce any more works. He died on April 23, 1616, at the age of 52. He was buried at the Holy Trinity Church in Stratford-upon-Avon, but the mystery of his death remains unsolved. Today, the Oxford English Dictionary has credited Shakespeare with introducing almost 1,700 words to the English language. Words such as misplaced, bloody, lonely, suspicious are some of the words we still use today. William Shakespeare is widely regarded as history's greatest dramatist, playwright, and poet. His works are well known around the world, and here are the three of his greatest plays he ever wrote in his whole career.
First, Hamlet. This is the greatest play he ever wrote. This very 13 drama follows Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, as he grieves for his mother and avenges his death. The spirit of Denmark's king urges his son Hamlet to avenge his death by killing the new king, Hamlet's uncle. Hamlet appears to be insane, contemplates on life and death, and wants revenge. Fearing for his life, his uncle devises plans to assassinate Hamlet as well. This is a famous line taken from this play. To be or not to be? That is the question.
Coming up next, we have Romeo and Juliet. Shakespeare is perhaps best known for the classic story of two star-crossed lovers, Romeo and Juliet. This is a tragic love story in which the two main characters, Romeo and Juliet, are sworn enemies who fall in love with each other. They are unable to be together due to ongoing family conflict, so they commit themselves since they are unable to live with being apart from one another. This play has seeped into popular culture. If we want to label someone as amorous, they may call him a Romeo, and the balcony scene is possibly the world's most iconic dramatic scene.
Lastly, we have Much Ado About Nothing. Much Ado About Nothing is Shakespeare's more well-known comedy. The play combines comedy and drama is one of Shakespeare's most fascinating texts from stylistic point of view. The passionate love-hate relationship between Benedict and Beatrice is central to the play's appeal. Throughout the play, the one are engaged in a warm embrace, and we know they love one another but cannot confess it to themselves. Some observers regard Much Ado About Nothing as a comedy of manners, seeing its most aristocratic behavior and language.